What's going on YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about equilibrium blocks. What are they and how to trade them? So first things first, equilibrium blocks are exactly what they sound like. So there's something along the lines like this. You've probably seen them many times. So right here is what you would consider an equilibrium block. Now, why would we consider this an equilibrium block? Well, as you can notice what price is doing, price is literally in equilibrium. It's where buyers and sellers think price is at a fair value. So oftentimes when you see equilibrium blocks form, you will often see price come back and test it before going in continuation and trend. So for this example, we would have a bearish equilibrium block. Why is it a bearish equilibrium block? Because trend is to the downside right now. As we have a market structure shift, we break this market structure shift right here. We have this high, we form a lower low, and then we also form a lower high. So next here, what would you want to see? Oftentimes, price will retrace back into this range. That's why I always tell traders, be patient. You do not have to catch the trade. If you miss the move, it's okay. Price will return back to an equilibrium block. You will notice that very often within the market. So this is an example of a bearish equilibrium block. So for a bullish equilibrium block, we would want to see something along the lines like this. So price will be trending, starting at this point, start trending up, start coming back down, and we would want to see price come back and test this range and then take out the highs. So right here in this range, as we can see something again, what is price doing? Price is currently in an equilibrium. As we see buyers step in, take aggressiveness, sellers step in, then buyers step in again. That's where they think that it is a fair price. So therefore, price is at an equilibrium. So how do we trade these now? Ultimately, we want to be very patient. We don't force trades. So first things first, if we are in a bearish equilibrium, what we would want to see is first and foremost a downtrend. We'd want to see aggressive price action to the downside. Now we would want to find an entry when an equilibrium block is tested. So for this example, I personally like to enter equilibrium blocks at the start of them, and I like to put my stop loss slightly above the highs. And the reason of that is because oftentimes you will see resting liquidity sitting at these equilibrium blocks. So you will notice that sometimes, for an example, you will have a wick that will come up, wick everybody out, but notice what you won't see. You will not see a body close below that level. So let's go into an example here. So as you can see right here, currently based on the 2-hour time frame, we can see an equilibrium block formed here. Why do we know it's an equilibrium block? Notice the bodies of price. Notice how we have a continuation in a downtrend. We have one solid green candle. Notice where the body closes inside of the previous candle, and then we get the continuation down. So that is what we call an equilibrium block. Notice here, if we were to go to the 4-hour, chances are there's another equilibrium block, right? What did I say? See that? And you will start to pick up on these things very fast when you notice them. And you will see price likes to react to them very perfect. So when we see these, we want to be patient, be patient. Price will return to these levels. You don't necessarily have to catch the move right then and there. If you miss the move, for an example, this first displacement candle, if you miss this move, it's okay. Because once we get the real move here, price will return back to this level. So let's go back down to the 2-hour time frame. So what we want to see now, we'd want to go down to the lower time frame and wait for price to react at these levels. Now, like I said, you do not want to see a body close above these levels. If a body closes above that level, then it is invalidated, and you will also see how those react. But I will get into those in a future video. So make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. So let's play this out. Notice how price pushes into this level. So what we want to figure out, okay, what is our drawn liquidity? Here we go. We can see this, right? Clear as day. Here's our sell side liquidity. So we would want our short entry. I say put our short entry at the start of the equilibrium block. That's me personally. And then as well, my A plus setup. What do we see here paired with the equilibrium block on a 30-minute time frame? A volume imbalance, right? So because we see that, I'm going to go in and start my entry actually at the volume imbalance because we know how price likes to react to those. As well, I will get into those probably in a couple weeks out. We'll start to talk about volume imbalances and go more in depth into those. But as you can see, they are very, very powerful. So if we come down to the 15-minute, I'd want to even go down to even a lower time frame. Let's see how the 5-minute looks. Okay, cool. So with the 5-minute, I can see how we have this fair value gap in this range. I put my stop loss at the stop of that fair value gap. We already know what the drawn liquidity is. So here we go. We have a 2.52 risk to reward based off of this equilibrium block. It's paired with a couple other things, but the main gist of this trade is the equilibrium block. I like to keep trading very, very simple. You do not need 1,000,001 things. You don't need all of these concepts. No, just understand market structure and the things I'm going to teach you throughout these coming videos. So let's continue to play this trade out. Currently, the market is respecting the equilibrium block based on the 2-hour time frame. And as well, we like to pair equilibrium blocks with higher time frames. Therefore, we get bigger reactions of moves. They also work on lower time frames as well, but I personally like them starting from minimum of the 30-minute to the 15-minute. And if I'm day trading or scalping, then I'll look at a 5-minute equilibrium block. So as you can see here, based off this trade, we never got stopped out. It respected the equilibrium block perfectly, and we got charged on liquidity. As well, market structure was down. We respected this 4-hour equilibrium block, and we got the sweep on liquidity as well. So these are things that you want to keep account for when pairing up with equilibrium blocks for your trade setup. Now let's dive into a bullish example of an equilibrium block. So here we go. Based on a 4-hour, we got our candle close, and we close with a bullish 4-hour equilibrium block. Now, why is it a bullish 4-hour equilibrium block? Well, notice trend is up. What do we get? Followed an uptrend with green candle, followed by one down candle, followed by another green candle. Therefore, we formed that equilibrium block. Price was at an equilibrium in this range. Now, we don't have to chase price action. If we understand where price is headed, we don't have to chase it. We can see here, yes, we are currently in a downtrend on the higher time frames, but currently we did not take out the lows down here, as we can see that. And we also got a liquidity sweep. And we're also holding this fair value gap as well on the 4-hour. So all of these things are likely pointing up to get continuation to the upside. Our job is to find an entry. We don't care about sniping the bottoms. Cool if you caught that fair value gap down there. Cool. But guess what? Doesn't matter, because most of the time, most traders don't even hold it all the way up here. So I'd rather take a trade setup that I'm 100% confident on, because the market's doing what we already know is likely to happen based on our edge. So let's dive into this. So if we come here on a 4-hour, I would want to start down, go down to the 1-hour. We'd say, okay, cool, let's play this out. I'd want a entry. I can even go down to 30-minute. And how to know when an equilibrium block will get tested. So if you're watching price action, you will start to see that the market will literally start to curl back down towards the equilibrium block. So as we see here on a 30-minute time frame, you're going to see we get that retracement back down. And they don't always have to be tested. There's many times that you won't see them be tested. But just understand, if price does come back there with a not too aggressive price action, very likely the equilibrium block will hold up. So I'd say, okay, cool. Based on this lower high, notice how we got the market structure shift. Zoom in. So we got our market structure shift. We made a lower high here. We did not take out this high. So therefore, very likely, where are sellers going to take price to? The equilibrium block, right? So because that, we know price is in an uptrend. Where do we want to find a dip? Right here in this range. So I'm going to go here on a 30-minute. Actually, just go down to the 15-minute. Gonna say, okay, cool. Let's find this long entry. So our long entry is at the start of the equilibrium block. Where's our stop loss? Slightly below this low. Where's our target? Here we go. So right here, we actually have a 5.72 risk to reward trade based off of the 4-hour equilibrium block. Remember, it came from the 4-hour time frame. So we, just because we went down to the 15-minute time frame does not mean we're trading the 15-minute. It just means we're going to find a better entry. We want to see how price is reacting. We want to see if price is respecting what we think is likely to happen. So if we come back here to the hourly, buyers step in at the equilibrium, and that's something you want to see as well. If an equilibrium block is going to hold upon the first test, and what I mean upon the first test, if we go back to the 4-hour here, notice how buyers step in instantly. It was an example how we had to wait for the body close. So coming here, buyers step in, and our price target is hit. Notice how buyers step in very, very aggressively. If you want to learn more about my trading styles and my trading concepts, make sure to click the link in the description and join my free community. We live trade every single day, 8:30 to 10, and power hour through 15 to 4. I'll see you there.